Cricbuzz Chatter is here once again at the end of day 3. What is turning out to be a pure, proper, classical test match. 2 innings finished at the end of day 3. Possibility of a result, who knows, by just after tea on the last day. That means you've got a good playing surface. This is where we are. India 364. Stumbled a little bit, you might think, to get to 364. And England recovered, you might imagine, to 391. But on this track, 27 is not an earth-shattering difference. So I think pretty much all even at the end of day 3. But to put it in a nutshell, as we're joined by Michael Vaughan, it was the story of a Yorkshire boy and our Hyderabadi Potta. And how interesting that on the program, it is a Yorkshireman and a Hyderabad guy. I can't call myself a boy any longer, can I? And a Hyderabad guy on the program. So I'm going to start with the Yorkshireman, Michael Vaughan, who I know has got a soft spot and also has a bit of a relationship with Joe Root as well. Is he climbing one pinnacle after another, Michael? How good was that innings today?
Well, it always amazes me with Joe Root that he just seems to, when he gets into this kind of form, it makes batting look so easy. When you're up against the likes of Bumrah, Sharma, Siraj, Sharma, and Jadeja, who are magnificent test match bowlers, it just makes batting look so simple, so easy. The way that he's playing the ball late and manoeuvring the ball into the gap, square of the wicket, is the way that he plays. I'm staggered that India haven't seen that and gone, okay, we're going to open up mid-off and mid-on. We're going to go wide of the kind of field set and try and nullify that square of the wicket, try and get him hitting down the ground. Look, he's playing that well that he probably just would revert and try and hit down the ground if the gaps were there. But he's wonderful to watch. He's a great role model. I always say to any kids that are playing the game, just try and copy Joe Root. He makes batting look very simple. It's very, easy on the eye, front foot, back foot, against spin, against pace. He's a fantastic person and a fantastic role model. Very similar to the way KL Rahul play. It's been a week, Harsha, where I think the purists will be delighted that the purist and the way that I believe Test match cricket should be played in terms of with the bat. KL Rahul, Joe Root have played exactly how Test match cricket should be played. So I'm delighted to see that.
But Michael, you come from Yorkshire, the old Yorkshire school of batsmanship. Old Geoffrey Boycott saying playing in the V, 1% runs on the off, 2% on the on. They're not playing in that V. They're creating other Vs for themselves, and yet they are aesthetically so good. I mean, you talked about the square drive. The KL Rahul played the square drive very well too. Is there something new emerging in batsmanship in England that instead of that classical play down the ground, you're saying, okay, you can play a lot more square of the wicket?
Well, you could argue that if you're playing down the ground and you get it slightly wrong, you look at Joss Butler, try to play down the ground, ball seamed, went through the gate, and his off stump went flying out the ground. So, in English conditions, trying to force your hands towards the ball can be quite dangerous because the ball will always just offer a little bit. By playing it really late, right under your nose, right under your eye line, and you kind of manoeuvring the ball is a safer way to play. And the way that Joe Root's playing at the minute, I would say I haven't seen him play better against seam. I've not seen him play as well as this against real high quality seam bowlers. And where you think the series is going to go to Australia in the winter, it's a really good sign for him. He's now got 500 in 2021. I said yesterday on this show it will come down to Joe Root. It did, and he's delivered once again. How many times can he keep delivering? Well, he's consistently doing it, and he consistently looks like he's going to carry on doing it. So I think India have to find a way, Harsha. I mean, you'll study India's bowling and team. I think they have to find a way of potentially asking Joe Root some different questions because so far in this series he's been too good.
I know, and they're playing beside the line as well. But we talked about the good old Yorkshire boy. Ab hamara Hyderabadi Potta. How good was Mohammad Siraj? I'll tell you what I loved about Mohammad Siraj. I know Michael loves him too. What I liked was he just kept running in. I mean, today was all about the DRS again, but it was a different kind of drama. It wasn't about taking the DRS, but about pleading. Michael Goff, is he Yorkshireman to Michael Goff? Or is only Darren the...
No, near yours.
There you go. He was brought into the drama as well. But what I like about Siraj is that he took his chances. He's someone, you put him on the stage, he looks like he belongs over there. It's been a very hard journey. It's been an arduous journey. It's been a difficult journey. But he's on this stage and he's looking like he belongs. I mean, In Australia, he looked like he belonged. Here, he's looking like he's belonged. And I think he's climbing up the pecking order. I know Ishant Sharma took 3 wickets, but if you assume that, yes, Bumrah didn't have a great day today, Shami probably didn't have a great day today, but I think he's going neck and neck, maybe an inch ahead of Ishant as India's number 3 on that pecking order.
Well, he's great. I always look at seam bowlers. You need obviously skill, you need to be fit, but you got to have plenty of ticker. You've got to continue to run in. That pitch is so slow at Lords, yet he kept on running in, kept on asking questions. If India bat well on day 4 and bat the full day, I look at someone like Siraj on day 5 on a pitch that's just starting to keep a little bit low. He'll be a real handful bowling from the pavilion and getting those balls to nick down the slope. As will Ishant Sharma. I'll go back to selection, Harsha. They've made a massive mistake not playing Ashwin. Huge, huge mistake. And he has to come back into this team. Whatever happens here at Lords, India need to get Ashwin back into this Indian bowling attack. I feel it'll help. Obviously, his batting would help as well. But Siraj looks someone that's, I would say, he'll probably wind a few up around the world, but I think he's going to be a joy to watch as well.
Just looking at those bowling figures as well, you got the feeling initially, and we talked about it yesterday, was Ishant Sharma just short of a gallop. Well, we had problems today. There were no balls after no balls for Jasprit Bumrah, maybe just a little frustration, and that showed in that little spell against Jimmy Anderson. Mohammad Shami just looked a little undercooked. I mean, Mohammad Shami came into the bowl that first over, and I thought, there's still a little bit of breakfast left. He was just, I mean, he's a fine bowler, but you go through those paces. But Ishant Sharma came back and just provided that little phase into. I mean, Moeen Ali getting out when he was set, Sam Curran first ball, that could have been another 50 runs for England there.
Yeah, and that's why, Ishant Sharma against left-handers is huge. He's always had a great ability to get the ball to go away from the left-handers. So he produced that spell. That I'm with you. I thought England were going to get probably a 60, 70 run lead. 27's nothing. India will clear that out inside the first 8 overs, and then it's about, can India bat the full day and then give England something cheeky on the last day. England will be thinking, wait a minute, if we can get 3 or 4 early ones, 3 or 4 by, just after lunchtime, with the likes of Shami and co coming from 8, England could quite easily bowl England out tomorrow, India out tomorrow for 200, 225, and give themselves a 200 chase on the last day. I think we're in for a classic. That's my prediction.
Yeah. We've got one little second before we go into fast forward, because Michael, it's time for me to put you in the hot spot. We talked about Root. We talked about Siraj. I thought there was supporting cast as well. Bairstow in that partnership with Joe Root, a little bit of a partnership with Butler, a little bit of a partnership with Moeen Ali. But when it came to drama, it came to a number 10 versus a number 11. And as the camera zoomed in close to Jimmy Anderson, it is the last thing he wanted to have, that barrage from Bumrah. And at one point, Bumrah bowled a no ball, and he said, haven't you had enough? So that was a bit of theatre, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And it's exactly the way I would bowl to Jimmy Anderson. Intimidation, bowl aggressively. If you can, unsettle Jimmy Anderson with a few blows. Jasprit Bumrah was absolutely in his right to do so. So Australia do it all the time to Jimmy Anderson, and I'm pretty sure that India will continue to do it for the remainder of the series.
Yeah, it was great fun, and I'm just waiting to see Bumrah coming out to bat, because they've got long memories, these guys. Okay, we talked about it a little bit, but let's end by going fast forward once again. From an Indian point of view, I think they've got to play.
I've got to go.
I was going to come to you, Michael, in just a minute. I think India have got to play 80, 90 overs, because 80, 90 overs, you get 270, 280 going to tea time on the last day. Quick word from you, Michael, before you go away.
Yeah, I agree. India about the day out, they're going to make it very, very difficult for England on the last day. As I said before, I think we're in for an absolute classic. I've got to go because I'm commentating.
Take care, Michael. How is that? I mean, we are going live as well. So we'll just say goodbye to Michael, because as I said, he's going live. He's just gone off. He's gone off because he's got a game to do. So I'll end the program. This is just wonderful, isn't it? I'll end the program by giving you my view. I think India play 80 overs. It may not be enough, because 80 overs with those conditions, ensuring you don't lose a game. You're batting third. 80 overs, about 250. Take away 27, 225, 230 is not enough. So I think India have got to bat all 90 overs and maybe a little bit. If they're good enough to bat the 90 overs, that is the question as well. If they bat 90 overs, get about 280, 285, take off the 27, 260 plus a little bit, and then a target on the last day, because there'll be a little bit of up and down as we go along. We've not seen too much of it, a little bit of up and down, and then we'll wait and see what happens on the last day. But isn't it fantastic? We've got a test match at the home of test match culture, where they love watching test match cricket, and just alongside, Michael Vaughan, one of England's great test match captains, is popping across to do what? A game that finishes in no time, 100, and it's all part of our game with it. It was fantastic having Michael on the program. Love to hear thoughts from you as we go along as well. We'll join Michael at the end of day 4. This is Cricbuzz Chatter.